Moving on to our next keynote address, and she is going to be an amazing presenter, Dr. Lanely Abraham. She is going to be talking about imposter syndrome, an unrecognized pandemic. She's a diplomat of the American Board of Obstetrics and see? Sorry, I need a meditation moment. Thank you, gynecology, who has been practicing medicine for 14 years. Clinically, Dr. Sam has distinguished herself as a top specialist in I can't even speak right now. Laparoscopic. If you could feel what my heart is going through it right now, it's pounding out of my chest. I know you can't see it. Minimally invasive surgery, performing the first ever robotic surgery in Palm Beach County, and has since performed over 300 robotic cases. Please help me welcome Dr. Sam. All right then.
So, I gotta get the energy going here. That got a little bit too somber for me. I actually need everybody to stand up right now. Stand up. Shake it off. Shake it off. That's it. Take it down. Because everybody in here is a brick house that's knocking it out. In our suits, in our stilettos, in our jeans, whatever you're wearing, you are all brick houses. As Silva so graciously mentioned, let me get in character here. I am Dr. Lanely Abraham. I am a robotic surgeon. I practice at Elite Obstetrics and Gynecology at US 1 and Commercial. I have been practicing in private practice for the last 9 years. I am the founder and chief medical officer of My Elite OB, the director of gynecologic robotic surgery, chairperson of the BCMA's Women's Physician Section, founder and president of the American Association of Concierge Obstetrics and Gynecology, co-chair of Suits Stilettos and Lipstick, co-chair of the Broward Women in Distress Starfish Circle, executive member of the American Heart Association's Circle of Red. I deliver babies, and in my spare time, because that's not enough, I travel the world, hang out with tigers, run marathons, and look after my 9-year-old son. All of that is pretty damn impressive. But the reality is, I am the poster child for imposter syndrome. It amazes me that as a physician, when I talk to people, they don't know what imposter syndrome is. We talk about breast cancer. We talk about people dying of cervical cancer. We talk about all of these concerns that women come into me about, but we're not talking about a ubiquitous pandemic that is besieging women of today. Specifically, despite the external evidence of marathons, diplomas, letters behind your name, we often don't believe that we deserve what we've achieved. I stand up here, I put on all my trappings, I put on my white coat, I put on my 4-inch heels, Jessica Simpson, thank you. And I pump up the jam to get myself ready for this. And what I feel like, wait, where is it? Okay, we're missing a slide. Oh my goodness. All right, so What we're not seeing there, and I hope somewhere it comes up somewhere, it was a picture that showed me as how I feel, which is a picture of me as a 6-year-old with cotton candy all over my face. Every time I walk up here, I'm like, what am I doing here? I can take off these trappings, I take off this white coat, and the reality is, this is what the majority of women feel like. It doesn't matter how many talks I've given, how many degrees I have, how many marathons I run, I am not sure that I deserve to be here. And I start panicking, and I start going, oh my gosh, they're gonna figure it out. I don't really know what I'm doing. Imposter syndrome is more common among women than men. 30 years of research has figured this out, that as girls, we learn the price for seeming too confident. And I put the light bulb up there to remind myself of a joke that nails it all really well, which is, how many men does it take to screw in a light bulb? Does anybody know this one? It only takes one, because they stand there and they wait for the rest of the world to revolve around them. So I'm taking off the coat, and I'm talking about the fact that women, when have what's called a self-attribution bias, which means that if you put on a woman puts on a pair of pants and they're tight, they're not going on, what are we gonna think? Oh my God, I gained weight, I'm getting fat. The same scenario, a man putting on a pair of pants and they're not going on, what does he think? God damn it, there must be something wrong with these pants. And this is a ubiquitous fact, and it's common. As girls, we learn the price for seeming too confident. Oh, there we go. So there we go in terms of, this is what I feel like. This is who I am. And I am blowing it open and saying that with all of those, with my white coat, with all of those degrees, underneath it all, you feel like an imposter. But at least I'm in good company. All of these people, Halle Berry, Jodie Foster, Marie Curie, have admitted that they have felt like imposters. That even when Halle Berry was getting her Academy Award, the whole time she was thinking, oh my gosh, they're gonna take it away. This can't really be me. Sandra Day O'Connor, all of these women say the same thing. Sheryl Sandberg, which our panelists just talked about in Lean In, talked about feeling like an imposter. Am I doing enough? Do I really deserve to be here? So how do we attempt to overcome feeling like imposters? All of these successful women in the room, the women that were on the panel, what do? We overachieve. And you may recognize some of the names up there. Dr. Elizabeth King, amazing. What we do to get past our feelings is we just keep doing more and more and more. It's just never enough. Gloria Diaz, fantastic, amazing. I think I'm going to get another degree. Alice Taylor is the CEO of Imperial Point Medical Center. Again, Gabrielle Finley Hazel. You know, not enough to just be a paramedic, Gabrielle. She's the CEO of Florida Medical Center and is in charge of all of the doctors there, plus being a mother, plus having a master's degree. Dr. Jennifer Capizzuti, who, again, it wasn't enough to have one degree. She decided, I wanted to be a doctor, and I'm gonna go back and get a master's. And in her spare time, is doing charitable medical missions all over the world. Janawa Osetutu is sitting at the table there. We went to school together. Janawa is the professor of law at FIU, has 3 children, and decided, it's not enough. I just don't have enough to do. I think I'm going to write the hardest bar in the country after taking my kids on vacation for a month, and is writing the New York bar. Tanya Sam got outed. My sister Tanya, Gloria, I'm so happy that you pointed out who it was you were talking about. My sister Tanya, I'm so proud of, is a hematology oncology nurse who has also started an amazing company with her boyfriend. And again, Gloria pointed out exactly what happened when they presented. She never believes that she's good enough. So even if you're not one of those, if you're not one of these super psychotic overachievers that this whole room is filled with, everybody here is everybody in this room is a nom, a non-mom, a part-time mom, or a full-time mom. Now, what I've been thinking about is that this whole mother, businesswoman, child thing really correlates well to a term called Stockholm Syndrome. Those of you who don't know what Stockholm Syndrome is, it's a phenomenon in which a hostage begins to identify with and grow sympathetic to their captors. Not to say that our children or our husbands or our jobs are our captors, but we give up so much as part of mom home syndrome, which is what I've termed, where we start deciding that to be good moms, to be good business people, to be good wives, we have to give up the things that are the most important to us. We give up exercise as number one. Well, we don't have time to do it. I know it makes us feel good, but we really should be concentrating on taking our kid to the baseball games. We give up our girlfriends, and this is the number one thing that we should never give up. We give up reading quietly because we need to be reading to our child rather than reading to ourselves. We give up alone time. We give up vacations. Once we finally reach a position in life that we have enough money to do mostly what we want, we get stuck in this mom home situation where a lot of the time we don't even have the time, energy, or imagination to do anything but sleep or feel guilty that we aren't doing something with our spouse, our kids, our work, or something productive or meaningful for the community. The news is not all bad. There are some positives to imposter syndrome that we suffer from. And the biggest thing is that it keeps us humble and focused on self-improvement. And the other big thing is that by going public about it, by talking about it, we can diffuse it. And that's why I'm up here saying, don't put me on a pedestal. Don't think that I have it all going on, because I'm sitting here figuring it out just like everybody else is. And I'm actually going to demonstrate that by reading the text that I sent, specifically last night, to one of my close friends. Here, it went something to the extent of this. Why did I agree to this darn speech? Why did I invite the whole world? Why is this going to be videotaped? And why did I not get home till 7:30 p.m. after a 13-hour day before this? Arg, my imposter syndrome is working overtime. My friend, and again, this is what keeps us going. Her response, text, it is working overtime, period. Stop, breathe. And even if you didn't know it better than anyone in the audience, you know this cold. And besides, this will make a great case study example. That's what friends are for. So, doctor's orders. Excuse me for a moment, I gotta put my persona back on. Dr. Sam is back. Sorry, that thing is going crazy. So doctor's orders, because we don't listen to ourselves, but we'll do things for other people. We'll do things because somebody else tells you to do it. So Dr. Sam is telling you, here's some tips for fighting that imposter syndrome. There was a Stanford psychiatrist who was Stanford president of psychology who was talking to a night school class, and they actually were able to say that it is important as exercise for women to spend time with their girlfriends. They've been able to show that women with time with each other increases our serotonin. So you could potentially decrease those Prozac prescriptions or Wellbutrin with just one Saturday a month with your girlfriends. First and foremost, recognize that you may be a victim of imposter syndrome, thinking you don't deserve to be here, thinking you don't know as much as everybody thinks you do, and share it. Share it with others. Share it with the people at the table with you who are going, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm sitting next to her. She was amazing on the, up there on the panel. Guess what? Ask her how she felt being up there. Was she nervous? Give yourself permission to spend time with girlfriends without kids or husbands or partners. Again, this is doctor's orders. This is the doctor speaking. And I honestly, in my practice, I'll write that on a prescription. I literally will write it on a prescription, 48 hours without your children. Absolutely. Positive self-talk. This is a great, great, great site. It's mythoughtcoach.com. And what she does is does a bunch of sort of affirmations and things to think about, because your mind's going, and sometimes you need to listen to a different tape. Acknowledge and accept accomplishments, achievements, accolades. You've earned them. And again, everything that I'm saying is 100% something I've been guilty of. I regularly am embarrassed at things that I've accomplished. I give excuses for, I'm sure they just had nobody else to pick for that award. Surround yourself with allies. And that is the biggest lesson that I can say, is Nancy Jones, who was the one that responded to me on that text, stop, breathe. Those are the people that keep you straight. The women that are dispersed throughout this audience that I've invited and our close friends keep me solid every day and remind me that, maybe I do know what I'm saying. Reflect on the obstacles that you've overcome and think about it. You've paid your dues. You deserve this. As Gloria said, raising 2 kids by herself for 16 years, I think you're pretty much straight into heaven at this point. There's a few exercises that I thought were good to reflect on. And these are things, you guys have your notes in the back that you can write about. So this is exercise number 1. Is you don't have to do it now, but think about doing it at some point. After the talk, 5 sentences that start with, before I die. Before I die, I want to do another triathlon. Or before I die, 5 things that you want to do. Exercise number 2. This one is incredibly hard. think of a perfect day. And I know you're going to say, this is impossible, it'll never happen, but try it. A perfect day, an 8-hour day, no cell phone, no children, no husband or partner, no work, and I randomly said $500 completely free cash. Really? Yeah, I know everybody's rocking in their seats going, it's just not even possible that could ever happen. But what I want to challenge you to do is, do you even have the imagination to think of what you would do with that? 10 things I enjoy doing or remember doing in the past. And again, it doesn't have to be stuff that you remember right now, but 10 things. Surfing, dancing quietly dancing in front of the mirror with the music on and nobody home. Shopping, anything that you remember that you may not have done for a while, but I just want you to get your brains working on things that are about you, things that you enjoy. 5 girlfriends I really like, love, admire, and wish I could see more of. That's it. Just list 5 of them that you haven't seen in forever, doesn't matter, anything, that people that fill your spirit. Make that list. And then, after doing all 4 of these exercises, you know what the answer is. Do them. At the very least, reach out, even by the nature of the law of attraction. You write down those 5 friends that you haven't talked to, seen in ages, and they'll show up. The phone will ring, or something will generate and reverberate. So I've laid myself bare. I've given you the real deal on who Dr. Lanely Arabasam is. So this is who's been speaking to you this morning. And it really is. It's not just the clothes. It's the attitude. Now, I have to make a shameless plug for multitasking and doing good and being part of Women in Distress. So every year, Women in Distress has a safe walk, and that's a 5K walk. It is a great imposter syndrome extravaganza. Dr. Sam's Elite is the team that I lead. It's Saturday, October 26th. Here's all the things you get to do on the list of doctor's orders. You get to wear a really cool pink shirt. You get to exercise, be with friends, bring your kids and your partners, and have fun. And do something for charity. You can register today at my table or or anywhere on my website. And basically, again, I'm so grateful to be here. I'm so grateful for my friends being here, and I'm grateful to everybody that reminds me every day that I'm not an imposter, and what I've done, I've deserved it and worked hard for it. Cheers.
Great job. Give it up for her. She did a great job. Phew, huh? Connection to that imposter in you, right? Right? Because I know I just did. You met my imposter 5 minutes ago. It happens to everybody. And the key is to embrace all of that.